Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I am the City Escape Griller, and no, I haven't made a video in a while, and I apologize for that, but thank you for being here and sticking around. I really appreciate that. So without further ado, today I'm going to be firing up my cast iron pan and making a New York strip steak. At the end, I'm going to make a pan sauce to go over the top of it with cognac and butter. This is very French. This is very delicious, so stick around. You're going to love this one. Today's recipe begins with a couple of New York strip steaks. I was going to make just one steak, but my wife reminded me that I am married now and I needed to make two steaks today. So what I'm going to do is just add a little salt. This is sea salt to both sides of the steaks. I'm not even using pepper today, but feel free to use pepper if you like pepper on your steaks. And after I salt this side, I'm going to cover these and let these rest for about an hour. And here we are now, about an hour later, and you can see that the salt has drawn some of the moisture out of the steaks. And what you want to do is take a paper towel and dry that moisture off both sides of the steaks, and that'll give you a nice crust when you cook your steaks. And just like that, these are ready for the pan. And today I'm using my heavy cast iron pan. I've preheated it so it is piping hot. And I turned the blower overhead the stove on because it is going to get smoky. And you'll notice here that I'm not even using any oil in the pan because I want bits of the steak to stick, and that's going to help flavor the sauce. For about 3 to 4 minutes, these are ready to flip. I don't know about you, but I'm getting hungry already. Another 3 minutes or so, and these will be done. Alright, so I'm thinking these steaks are just about done now. I give them a little press with the tongs and see how firm they are. And you don't want them to be too firm or else they'll be overdone. Right now I'm just going to hit the fat on the side. Make sure that gets cooked a little bit. And the next thing I'm going to do is cover these steaks lightly with tin foil and let them rest for about 10 minutes while I get the sauce ready. And the sauce begins with some butter. And I should mention that I turned the stove off, so the pan has just been sitting here cooling down, but it's still hot enough to melt the butter. Next thing I'm going to do is add in some diced shallot. And we'll let that cook with the butter, maybe for about 2 minutes. Just until the shallot softens up. It's just like cooking an onion, but just a little bit more delicate than an onion. Add in a sprig of thyme and let these flavors come together. And now we're going to add in a good splash of cognac. And this part here is optional. We're going to light the cognac and burn off all the alcohol. It'll burn off anyway, but it is kind of a fun show. Next thing we're going to do is add about a 1/4 cup of beef stock. And we're going to cook this over a fairly high heat to let that stock reduce. And then after a few minutes, when it's starting to get a little bit thicker, then we're going to add in a couple of tablespoons of heavy cream. Stir that around. Just scrape up any bits on the bottom of your pan. It's really important to have a spatula or a wooden spoon that has a flat top on it so you can really scrape the pan. And we'll give this a taste. And I'm telling you, that is delicious. Of course, you want to add in any accumulated juices from the resting steaks into the sauce. And here's how you know your sauce is done. When you pull your spatula across, and it kind of takes a little bit of time to close up the gap there. The sauce is getting a little bit thick. That's the way you want it. That's what you're looking for. This sauce is ready for the steaks. So cutting these steaks up, you can see how well they're cooked, or how medium rare they're cooked. That looks pretty good to me. Quickly cut this one up over here. That's looking pretty good too. And I'm gonna kind of fan these out just a little bit. I mean, you could eat it just like this. These steaks are gonna be delicious no matter what. We're taking it up to the next level, and we're gonna spoon over that pan sauce. If you've never made a pan sauce before for your steaks, it is absolutely delicious. Especially if you're using a steak that's of a lesser cut. So say even like a London broil, or a steak that doesn't have that much fat in it, that's not going to have that much flavor otherwise. This is a great way to add extra flavor to your steak. Now these New York strips were going to be delicious regardless, but this pan sauce is just going to take it to the next level. Just going to be absolutely delicious. And here is the final dish: cast iron seared New York strip steaks with a Shallot Cognac pan sauce. Okay, so we've got our steak here with the pan sauce. Let me give this a try. That is good. Delicious. We had a little run-in with our smoke detector. A little bit stressful around here. Wouldn't be the same without some French fries. Absolutely delicious. I love making these pan sauces. You know, if you don't have shallot, you can always use onion or garlic in a pinch. Even some mushrooms if you like mushrooms. And you don't have to use cognac, you could use wine. There's just a lot of different things that you can vary. Like, you don't even need to use the cream if you don't want to. You could just use more butter. But this sauce, like this, I think is delicious. It's just so good. Steak, frites with the pan sauce. You need some Cabernet Sauvignon. I like a Napa Cab. This one's from Sonoma in California, right next to Napa. Really delicious. I mean, good steak like this with the pan sauce, French fries, Cabernet Sauvignon. It doesn't get any better than this. If you like this video, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. And of course, keep on cooking.